by the Edmonton Radial Railway Society. We're 100% volunteer-run organization. As I said, we run 4 streetcars down here. We have 4 operational streetcars down here. This one, which ran in Edmonton from 1912 to 1951. We have our Car 80, which is an Edmonton streetcar. It ran from the 1930s to 1951. A Toronto streetcar from the 1950s and one from the 1920s, also from Toronto. On the high-level bridge, we have a sister car to this one that ran also from 1912 to 1951, and a Melbourne streetcar, and one from Osaka, Japan. The streetcars in Edmonton ran until 1951 when the city decided to get rid of the streetcars.
Yeah, that crisscross is kind of freaky. 2-camera operation. This is a level of difficulty I'm not used to. I don't mean to be offensive in front of these guys, but how many horsepower do you think that is? This is an authentic 1920 recycling container. Wish we'd seen that jalopy drive up to it. Chocolate brownie. Pecan pie contains nuts. That's what the sign said. So I know it would be too much to expect that this 1920s hotel would have an authentic bathroom. Because first of all, that's probably not that hygienic. But if it was authentic, the style would be all the way in the bottom, elevated, leaning in with a drainage trowel and water just running into it. And then the guys would just line up and there'd be none of this separation, none of this modern porcelain. That would be authentic. So how far down are you usually allowed to shoot? Have you ever tried it? No. Okay. Brunch at the Hotel Selkirk, Johnson's Cafe. What did you think of it, Trude?
It was good.
It was good. For a brunch, it was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't impressive.
No.
I thought, but it was good.
Very pricey.
Yes.
But, you know, you're paying for the operation of a park, the upkeep of this historic property and all of these others. So, what do you expect? So we just came out of the Aboriginal Peoples exhibit at the Fort Edmonton Park. What did you think of it?
I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Very informative. Very touching.
Touching.
Very touching.
Yeah, there's a lot to emotionally unpack with that. So there, that's it. So if you did want to climb in a teepee, apparently you can do so over here. No. Well, I think the scale of it is a little unexpected. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller. It's huge. Every fort recreation I've ever seen has been tiny by comparison. This thing is massive. It's like the size of the Chateau Vincennes, the original chateau, the walled castle, as it were. When they do a recreation, they go all out. You know what this reminds me of in scale? Chateau Vincennes.
Oh yeah?
Like the old walled chateau.
Okay.
But this is huge. I've been to Fort Langley. I've seen the recreation of the Hudson's Bay Fort in Calgary Heritage Park, but I ain't never seen a representation of a Hudson's Bay Fort this large. This is massive. Excuse me, miss. Do you have takeout? This is a porte-importeur window. Bay blankets, of course. What else would you expect? Including the old red ones. When the Bay updated their site for these, they also included the history of them, and apparently certain bands and the Coast Salish seem to prefer the green ones, and Manitoba guys preferred the red. Gotta wonder if they ever let movie companies shoot here. Shh, be very, very quiet. We're waiting for Trudie. You can shoot a movie here. Fort security system. The chief factor at one of these forts, which if they were a place where the pelts were processed instead of just stored, then it would be called a factory.
Ah, okay.
Did you see the lights?
The lanterns, yeah.
My dear Bethany, as I write this, the mosquitoes have swallowed up 5 of my men by draining their blood whole. Tiny Tim has stopped sitting in the fireplace now that we've lit it.
Hey, Daddy, on the other side. Let's go through this room. Oliver, let's go this way.
You hear the little kids? Ooh! Oh, that's a cool ooh or a scary ooh. John Calico's?
Yeah, honestly. I mean, I'm misplaced enough, so.
Oh, that does not look comfortable.
No.
You people get off my yard! Of course, a lot of people think that the European-style exit signs were only brought over recently, but the Hudson's Bay Company was using them in the 1700s. It's a canned fact. Could you imagine if somebody in this building had had an Eaton's blanket? That wouldn't have gone over well. What's with Thomas and his Eaton's blanket? Who does he think he is? Is that Zellers? Step into the light. My dearest Eloise, I suspect the chef has been replacing the pepper with gunpowder, making the candlelight dinners extremely dangerous. Washroom? Oh. I saw somebody standing outside of that. No, I'm good right now. I keep thinking about F Troop. Oh, Agar. People say you're dumb. Yeah, who says I'm dumb?
Minimum wage! Yeah!
what the name I'm giving that horse is? Smalls. Smalls. You know why? Killing me, Smalls.
Would you prefer I go back and forth or?
Doesn't matter to me.
Wake up, Polly! Wake up, Polly Parrot!
Back in the day, you would order something like this from a catalog, the Key Eats catalog, and it would take like a week to get here from their plant in Toronto by train. And now in the 21st century, it takes 10 days for stuff to get from Toronto. Progress.
Saddles. There's a horse.
Jeez, I thought the stairwell at the Pavilion de la Reine was narrow. Well, you start off wanting to do something, and you think, oh, this is going to be a video about this. And then as the day progresses, you end up with its own narrative. Where are we going now, Trude?
Horses.
In Search of Horses. The Fort Edmonton Story, Trudie edition. $18.85 Street. You know what's missing? The DeLorean. Yeah, that's what we need. Coming down this street at 88 miles an hour. DeLorean. So, 1885 Street, 1905 Street. Trudie got ahead of me. Well, just trying. There she goes. That one's a little jumpy. What happens if you go by the neck? You're not supposed to feed the horses, kid. Not supposed to feed the horses. It's right there on the sign. I sound like that when I'm cycling. Wheezing and everything. Okay, I don't make any bell noises, but... In America, they had Uncle Sam going, "I want you." In Canada, we had Lord Kitchener. Now see, that's TTC colors, but that is the one that we were on. So I don't think it's a Toronto one. country.
And I just put a hand on the phone.
That's interesting. That's a keychain. Considering how focused on heritage Fort Edmonton Park is, I was a little surprised that the washrooms were genderless. It was just one washroom area with a bunch of sinks and then a bunch of stalls, and that was it. And I actually walked back out and looked at the sign again to go, is that really men and women? And yeah, very 21st century, and yet it's a heritage park. Mixed gender washroom
Yeah, it is cool.
in a heritage park.
I know.
Like the last place I would expect
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
to find a unisex bathroom.
Yeah.